I used to get like in 6 weeks. It's now 6 months or more.
These days, the demand is outpacing the supply, and it's causing quite the headache for buyers and sellers. Plus, voting rights were a hot topic in Washington as the nation's top leaders discuss how to protect people's access to the polls. And later, the deck is now in the hands of a new leader, and tonight, he's sharing some big ideas he hopes to accomplish with the space.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Vaki. Thanks for joining us. You may have noticed how hard it's been to buy things like cars and furniture over the last year. It's a problem a lot of buyers are facing, and as CBS3's Quinn Gorham explains, it turns out there's a lot going on behind the scenes, too.
It's a problem impacting everything from furniture stores to car dealerships.
I typically have 150 new Toyotas in stock. I currently have maybe a couple dozen available.
Inventory shortages are sweeping the country, and sellers say there are a number of factors creating a perfect storm. Dave Cochran, who owns a furniture store in Cloquet, pins at least part of the problem on increased buyer demand.
We did have a lot people buying a lot more furniture in 2020 because they couldn't spend money for vacations and travel. So they're stuck at home, like spending their money there instead of going to Acapulco.
Despite the problem affecting mainly consumers, the inventory shortage is affecting sellers as well on the back end of things. Tom Mackey at Kohler Toyota says there's a shortage in computer chips, which has caused a reduction in the production of new cars. According to a Washington Post article, the auto industry will produce between 1.5 million and 5 million fewer vehicles this year than originally planned. And as that supply plummets, Mackey expects demand to continue going up.
The supply, obviously, of new is lower than it's ever been based on the computer chip shortage. And then you do have that pent-up demand. You have the people that have not done anything for a year and a half, going back into the COVID times.
Both Cochran and Mackey expect the problem should fix itself when supply chains return to normal. But in the meantime, you might need to wait a little bit longer for that sofa you've been wanting.
I used to get like in 6 weeks. It's now 6 months or more. But people understand because it's not just me. It's industry-wide.
The inventory shortage isn't necessarily impacting the businesses negatively, but they say the problem makes it much harder for their customers to have a good buying experience. Moving to Canal Park, it was a great morning to see a sunrise if you could bear the cold. Across the Northland, towns saw temperatures below 40 degrees, and even some towns woke up to some frost. Our meteorologist Dave Anderson joins us now to discuss the cold and if it will be sticking around. That is a beautiful sunrise to wake up to, but those temperatures not so beautiful.
That is for sure, Kristen. Like you mentioned, a lot of towns, especially in northern Minnesota, fell into the 30s this morning. And I'll take one last look at the low temps for the main part of the weather. But right now, I want to focus on the positive, the high temperatures. For a lot of towns, they were cooler than normal, too, because the normal is 77. But even 60s by the lake really isn't that bad at all. And farther inland, places like Orr hit 75 degrees. Hayward got 72. Watersmeet region, 71 degrees there. So really rather pleasant. And tomorrow it gets a bit warmer. If 77 is the normal, I think many of us will top out there as high pressure continues to dominate our region, keeping us dry through Sunday. Our next rain chance may not be here from the west until Monday. Looking at our short-term forecast, I think we should be in the 40s for lows tonight rather than the 30s, and then upper 70s tomorrow, right on par for this time of year, which sets us up for warmer than normal conditions for the weekend, and I'll talk about if that'll be oppressive heat or pleasant heat in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Dave. A Hibbing man has been charged with several felonies after he allegedly assaulted an infant and the baby's mom. 21-year-old Jose Flores Gurno made his first court appearance today when a judge set his bail at $2 million. Hibbing police were called to a home on 3rd Avenue East Monday. Police say the baby's mother returned from work and found her 1-month-old daughter with extensive bruises on her face and neck, a bloody nose, and bite marks on her arms. Gurno had been taking care of the baby at the time and allegedly strangled the baby's mom when she tried to call police. The baby was taken to the hospital where she is in critical but stable condition. Court documents show Gurnall told police he was drinking that day and didn't remember what happened. But he also admitted he must have caused the injuries since he was the only one with the baby at the time. Gurnall is currently being held in the St. Louis County Jail. He'll be back in court next week. Moving to Washington, D.C. now, we're taking a live look at the White House. Today, President Biden and Vice President Harris tackled the issue of voting rights. The focus comes as a growing number of GOP-controlled states across the U.S. are shoring up legislation that would restrict access to the polls. CBS News' Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
Vice President Kamala Harris announced a $25 million expansion of the Democratic National Committee's initiative, countering efforts to make voting more difficult.
This campaign is grounded in the firm belief that everyone's vote matters.
Both President Biden and Vice President Harris also met privately with leaders of several civil rights organizations to highlight their push to expand voting rights.
This attack on democracy, this challenge to democracy is not partisan. This is an attack on the very fundamental values that undergird this country.
At least 17 states, most of them Republican-led, have enacted new laws to restrict voting access. That's according to the Brennan Center for Justice. Supporters of the legislation say tighter election laws are needed to prevent voter fraud, despite no widespread evidence backing up their claims.
Here on Capitol Hill, voting rights legislation passed the House but stalled in the Senate last month after Republicans blocked debate on the bill.
What this is really about is an effort for the federal government to take over the way we conduct elections.
Certainly the president would love to sign a piece of voting rights legislation into law, but he also knows that there are a number of levers from the federal government that we should continue to use.
To that end, the Biden administration filed suit in Georgia last week, claiming the state is violating federal law by inhibiting voting rights on the basis of race.
Just a few more minutes.
While in Texas, the state legislature is back in session, looking at toughening election laws weeks after Democrats walked out, blocking efforts to pass one of the country's most restrictive voting laws. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Last week, the U.S. Supreme Court determined Arizona is not violating civil rights with rules that allow officials to throw out votes cast in the wrong precinct and ban so-called ballot harvesting. President Biden has set August 31st as the date that nearly all U.S. troops will be out of Afghanistan, even as some observers fear that country could be heading into civil war. The U.S.'s longest war has claimed nearly 2,500 American lives and wounded more than 20,000. The president said he's not sending another generation to Afghanistan with no reasonable expectation of achieving a different outcome.
We did not go to Afghanistan to nation build. And it's the right and the responsibility of the Afghan people alone to decide their future and how they want to run their country.
But on the ground in Afghanistan, fears of civil war and possible collapse remain. From mid-April, the Taliban has rapidly seized a third of the country's 421 districts. The president added the U.S. will continue to have a diplomatic presence in the country, and several hundred troops will remain for protection of the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. President Joe Biden is relaunching the Council of Governors, and Minnesota's governor once again has a seat at the table. The council is an advisory board of governors, key cabinet secretaries, and top administration officials. They're focused on strengthening federal and state collaboration on major national security issues. Biden is appointing a bipartisan group of 9 governors to the council, and that includes Governor Walz. Roughly 9 million people with federal student loans will start getting their bills from a new agency. It comes after the Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Agency said the repayment programs, quote, have grown increasingly complex and challenging, while the cost to service those programs increased dramatically, end quote. The body has been contracted by the government to collect payments for the past 12 years. There's a new push to attract TV and filmmakers to Duluth. The Duluth City Council is looking into creating incentives to bring film and TV production crews to the city. Ideas include discounts on lodging, waiving permit fees, and rebate programs. Experts say 60% of film budgets are spent on location. That means multi-million-dollar film or TV projects could make a big impact on the local economy. Councilors say that's what led them to unanimously approve the idea.
From Duluth's perspective, there's a lot of economic upside to looking at this industry. In addition, it's just a really cool thing, right? But the jobs that could be created, the investment that could be made in the community.
City administrators have until November to present ideas for the incentives. Other communities in the Northland also have similar incentives, including the Iron Range and St. Louis County. 5 blocks of Superior Street were closed off for a second day today as summer's biggest shopping festival continued. Day 2 of Sidewalk Days featured live music, loads of food, and local stores bringing their merchandise outdoors. The festival's final day is tomorrow from 9 to 5. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, big new ideas are coming to the deck with a new leader at the helm. We'll hear from him next.
Record high temp for this date is 98 degrees from 1936. That was the midst of a 15-day warm spell that set records in Minnesota, Duluth, and all around the nation. This week, we will be warming up after a cold snap, but I don't think we'll be hitting the upper 90s. Where will we end up? I'll show you with the 7-day forecast if you'll end up back here with me after this break.
Get your news on the go, the CBS 3 mobile app.
When Grandma suggested cookies, Kyle wasn't expecting the new Nestle Toll House Chocolate Chip Cookie Blizzard. 2 beloved treats, soft-baked Nestle Toll House Chocolate Chip Cookies and world-famous DQ Soft Serve, all in one treat. The good times roll when these 2 get together, just like G-Ma and her G-Son, making memories while mixing 2 favorites. With the Nestle Toll House Chocolate Chip Cookie Blizzard, only at DQ. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Essentia Health interventional neurologist Vikram Jadhav explains strokes.
An acute stroke is a very time-sensitive problem. People who are having a stroke essentially are not getting any blood supply to the brain, and thereby they are not getting any oxygen to the brain. The brain is a very sensitive organ that the brain cells start dying as soon as the blood supply stops. You can imagine if the brain doesn't get any blood supply just for 1 minute, about 2 million neurons or brain cells die. And that translates into about 3.6 years of normal aging if the brain doesn't get any blood supply for an hour. So let's look at the risk factors or the subset of people who are more vulnerable because of the risk factors that they can take care of. These are patients who would have high blood pressure and bad cholesterol, patients who have other risk factors like diabetes, then patients who are smokers.
As an advanced thrombectomy-capable stroke center, Essentia is able to remove clots from the brain blood vessels, saving our patients valuable time by ensuring they don't have to travel hours for care.
These are places or institutions which can provide the entire gamut of stroke care 24/7 all the time, and who have the specialized care that can be given by doing the thrombectomy procedure. Time is of essence, time is brain.
Remember the BFAST acronym: balance, eyes, face, arms, or speech. T is for timeliness. If you experience any of these stroke signs, go to an ER or call 911. For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medical insight.
Gail King, Anthony Mason, and Tony DeCopel, weekday mornings on CBS.
Despite a very rough year and a half, the deck survived the pandemic. Now it has a new ambitious leader. Dan Hartman spent years revitalizing Glensheen Mansion. Now he has a new challenge, helping one of Duluth's top revenue generators start fresh. And as CBS 3's Natalie Grant reports, he has some pretty wild ideas.
The deck is a lot more than just a building. It encompasses Amsoil Arena, Bayfront Festival Park, the William A. Irving, and a whole lot more. Dan Hartman now oversees all of it.
The staff here are phenomenal.
Just 3 weeks into his new position as the deck's executive director, Hartman says things are going well, largely in part to strong pieces already in place.
That's something that's been a real joy for me to be able to start to know these folks and to see how I can try to be helpful and be supportive of this group.
But now he's ready to put his creative ideas into action, changing the way people see the deck and all of its different places. Places like here at Harbor Drive that wrap around the back of the deck and serve as a connector between Canal Park and Bayfront, but it's also home to arguably some of the best views of Lake Superior.
It's like our backyard. It's the harbor waterfront, and we can activate that space and have concerts out there. We can have food trucks out there.
Hartman is helping make the waterfront vision a reality, which will mean collaborating with the city to close down Harbor Drive and transforming it into a recreational space everyone can enjoy.
We're missing, I would say, relaxing spaces. We're missing those spaces where the public can come down, sit in a chair, and just watch this thing that's called the working harbor.
Hartman says this new idea could be used in many ways and could help bring more people to Canal Park and Bayfront, just one of the many ideas Hartman hopes to bring to his new position.
There are so many fun ways we can use this to be a public space, and I'm excited for the crazy and the normal. This will become a new spot of Duluth.
Hartman says the Harbor Drive project has no timeline right now, but could be open as early as next summer. The city's chief administrative officer, Noah Schumann, provided a statement on the plan, saying they can't share specifics just yet, but they are optimistic for the future of Harbor Drive.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
A sunny, beautiful day on the cooler side to start, but because of drier conditions, especially north of the Iron Ranges, some towns are still dealing with some forest fire problems. And so that forest fire that's south of Snowbank Lake near Ely, still going, now up to about 10 acres. The water bombers are doing their best to keep that contained and keep it from spreading rapidly. So that's the latest on that, courtesy of the U.S. Forest Service. They're trying to work on solving the problem. And of course, the solution, as always, is a good soaking rain. But I don't think we're going to get one of those in the short term. Maybe in the long term, something will be with us by Monday, but from now until then, it will be high and dry, and it will start to warm up once again. After starting at 34 this morning in Hibbing, new cold record for that town, well, things are going to start perking up temperature-wise for tomorrow. Currently at the airport in Duluth, it's 54, 72% for the relative humidity, east-southeast wind. That's 3 miles per hour, and our air pressure now nudging up a little bit towards the higher side at 1,017 millibars. High pressure cell in place, like I mentioned, was going to keep us here drier than anything else, probably through Sunday. Next rain chance Monday. Current temps, low 50s in the Upper Peninsula, and we're running as cool as 46 from La Pointe to as warm as 57 in Hayward. 52 is what we have towards Moose Lake, a little bit warmer in Cloquet. Upper 40s for much of the North Shore, and we still have some 50s, even 60s for the Iron Ranges and Borderland. Lows overnight should be in the 40s to about 50 rather than 30 to about 40. So the warm-up is coming in. Well, the current Doppler is showing some showers trying to creep in from the west, but these here in the arrowhead of Minnesota probably aren't hitting the ground even. It's just dry enough where any virga coming down is going to re-evaporate. So again, high and dry probably through Sunday. Looking at our short-term forecast, a little bit on the cool side tonight from the high. We'll be going 42 to 53. The normal is 56. So not drastically cool, but just a little bit cool. Then the high pressure cell starts to pull warmer air into our region tomorrow. So it'll be milder with highs 75 to 80. The normal is 70. And then for the weekend, the high continues to go to the south, continues to pull up southern winds into the region, and it'll be warmer than normal, 80 to 83 degrees for Saturday and Sunday. Then come Monday, a new low from the west brings our next chance of rain. Tonight in Minnesota, the range of low temps should be 42 to 53 with a partly cloudy sky. Wisconsin, Michigan runs about 45 to 47. And for Wisconsin and Michigan tomorrow, mostly sunny sky with high temps 75 to 79. And Minnesota numbers will be in the low 70s by the lake, upper 70s to about 80 farther inland. And now the extended forecast shows that next rain chance is a 30 to 40% affair from Monday through Wednesday. We may go as warm as 85 on Tuesday, and then we do start to step back by next Thursday. So this past couple of weeks has been the proverbial roller coaster. We had that hot spell towards the 90s. Then we dropped it to record lows this morning. Then we'll pick back up into the 80s in just a couple more days.
You know, I think that roller coaster makes us appreciate the hot, warm days, but then also the cooler days
Yeah,
as well.
we don't get bored trying to forecast this weather like a weathercaster in Yuma, where, boy, it's sunny and hot again today.
Exactly, that's
362 days a year.
Yeah, Mother Nature keeps you on your toes, that's for sure. Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, calling all collectors. A man in Rochester is selling his collection of Wheaties boxes, but for how much? We'll share his pretty interesting story next.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Celebrate one big week of 4th of July savings at Home Furniture. Get up to an extra 10% off sale prices, like this queen bedroom suite, now $1529, plus no money down, 3-year special financing. One big week of 4th of July savings, only at Home Furniture.
Healthy Systems USA Black Friday in July sale. 2-month program, 1-month price. It's like getting 1 month for free. Buy it for yourself or split it with a friend. Lose up to 1 pound of fat a day.
If you've got that, don't worry about that. Healthy Systems USA.
We have a structure fire with injuries on Highway 13.
Did you know your friends and neighbors volunteer to provide emergency services? They are serving many communities and need your help. Challenge yourself. Be part of the team. Be somebody.
For over 20 years, Breeze Roofing has been totally dedicated to getting the job done right, and done right now. We pride ourselves on being the highest quality exterior remodelers in the area. Call Breeze for all your roofing needs.
UCare is out decomplicating health plans all over the state. We're proud to be in Embarrass, bringing family plans to Fertile, helping folks rest easy and sleepy-eyed, and smart advice to Nimrod-ians.
Is that even a word?
We make plans clear and crystal, and we've been a staple here since 1984. With over 40,000 doctors, specialists, and providers in our networks, we're getting more welcomes every day. UCare, people-powered health plans.
If you're worried about spoiling your dinner with any of our dollar sliders from 2 to 5 p.m. at Arby's, do what I do. Order a dollar shake to take your mind off it. Arby's, we have the meat.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app.
Healthy Systems USA Black Friday in July sale. 2-month program, 1-month price. It's like getting 1 month for free. Buy it for yourself or split it with a friend. Lose up to 1 pound of fat a day.
If you've got that, don't worry about that. Healthy Systems USA. During the 4th of July mattress sale at Home Sleep Express, get $500 off Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattresses, plus no money down, 6-year special financing on any Tempur-Pedic with free delivery, setup, and a 120-day guarantee. Tempur-Pedic, now at Home Sleep Express.
Get your new John Deere tractor from Duluth Lawn and Sport, the region's largest power sports dealer.
Breaking news, original reporting.
How do you hope to change the world?
And the good things in life.
Live music and variety. Where are you going to get that?
Here.
Join Jeff Lord, Dana Jacobson, and Michelle Miller on CBS This Morning, Saturday.
CBS3 Sports is brought to you by Northland Lawn Sport and Equipment.
A Minnesota man is selling a massive collection of Wheaties boxes. Dale Haig of Rochester says he has been collecting Wheaties for about 40 years and estimates he has somewhere between 300 and 400 boxes. Now he's asking for $300 on Facebook Marketplace, saying it would be great for anyone who owns a sports bar or is thinking of opening one up. Haig says he's selling the boxes because he's getting older and nobody in his family wants to keep collecting them. Bummer. His favorite boxes are the older ones, like the ones featuring Chris Evert and Johnny Bench. His wife added he's eaten a lot of Wheaties in his time. I would imagine so, at 300 to 400 boxes.
I think we should get them and just line the back of our studio with them.
That'd be a great idea.
We have a good start.
With this one.
This is a coveted one.
What can we get for this one here?
I heard this one's like $10, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about the original cost, I wasn't alive when when the Ken Herbeck and Kirby Puckett one. I don't know if we can zoom in on that, but that's This is a cut for Minnesota, 91 champions. So kids, the going rate
starting bid.
We'll start the bid at $10. There we go.
But we're open to higher bids.
Yeah, this is QVC now. Anyways.
Oh, you know, Breakfast of Champions, so let's talk about that.
Let's talk about sports. Giannis's back has to be pretty sore as of late from carrying the team. Highlights from the Bucks-Phoenix game coming up next.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call the number on your screen and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month. So call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-945-8449 to receive your free Carefree Dental Card information kit.
Get 25% off our low Slumberland price. Incredible deals. Huge markdowns. Plus 25% off our low Slumberland price. What a sale. The 4th of July sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Fire threatens everything in its path. When it threatens our communities, we respond. We bring the fight to the front line. The Army National Guard stands ready because sometimes the front lines are in our own backyard. We will always be there when our community needs us the most. Find out more about serving your community part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Every second of every day, it happens. Something big, something worth talking about. News happens, and you can't wait for it. You need to be constantly digging, asking, hunting, wanting more. More truth, more real answers. More who, what, where, when, and why. And it's about you. It's about now. It's about wherever, whenever. At Live Local CBS3, it's about the news. Your neighborhood news.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain.
It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
You can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
All of us can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
I got into journalism when I was in high school, actually, and that's where I really fell in love with the news and the storytelling aspect of it, being able to bring those things together and keep people informed. It's so important for us to be in a community like Duluth, to be able to hear your stories and then bring them to everybody else in the community.
Watch Caitlin and Jenna in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals saw a lot of things. Giannis Antetokounmpo returning in superhuman-like fashion from hip injury, a dismal third quarter eventually leading to a Game 1 loss for the Bucks. And tonight was their chance to even things up. Bucks and Suns Game 2 in Phoenix before things shift back to the Deer District. And man, where would the Bucks be without the Greek Freak? 12 points in the first half alone. Here he finishes off what Chris Middleton started. Suns seemed to pick up where they left off from Monday. Devin Booker from the three-point line, he finished the half with 15 of his own, as did Mikal Bridges. Bucks trail, and Giannis gives a pointed talk to his teammates in the huddle, probably with that sore back from carrying the team. At last check, Bucks looking like they're going to go down in Game 2. They trail 113-104 with less than a minute remaining. And the Huskies took on the Rochester Honkers yet again for their second series of the second half of the season. This is the third time in 6 days that Duluth faces Rochester at the Wade. We start here in the bottom of the second. Huskies up to bat. It's Amber Vodic with a nice base hit to get runners on first and second. Next batter, Brian Brocker with the base hit to left field. That'll score Halverson from second, and the Huskies have the 1-0 lead. The bats continue to roll for the Huskies as they go on to score 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, leading them to a 3-0 lead, and they were not done coming home yet. They score 3 more runs in the bottom of the 7th to get them a 6-0 lead, and that is the final from Wade as the Huskies get a much-needed win. And the Twins starting a series with the Detroit Tigers at Target Field tonight, bouncing back nicely after last night's loss to the White Sox. A 3-run 7th leads to a 5-3 win. Brewers in action with the Reds at last check. They are looking to close that one out with the same score. And in soccer, Duluth FC's Sidney Warden had himself a day yesterday with a 6-0 victory against La Crosse. Not only did he add 2 tallies of his own, he also became the all-time leading scorer in regular season history with 14 goals. That makes up 58% of the Blue-Green's goals this season in 10 games thus far. Warden looks to increase that number during their last regular season road trip on Saturday, taking on Dakota Fusion, who they previously shut out this season. You can catch more of Warden's dominant action when Duluth FC wraps up their regular season at home next Friday, the 16th. Japan is taking a tougher approach to help curb the spread of COVID-19 just 2 weeks before the Olympics are set to start. Organizers will hold Olympic events in Tokyo without spectators, a move they say was a heavy decision. They are still considering allowing spectators for events outside Tokyo that are not under a state of emergency. All this comes shortly after Japanese Prime Minister Yoshida Suga placed Tokyo under a 4th state of emergency due to a spike in COVID cases. It's scheduled to go into effect Monday and will last throughout the Olympics. The Tampa Bay Lightning and their fans are once again celebrating a Stanley Cup championship. The Lightning earned the right to hoist the Stanley Cup after beating the Montreal Canadiens in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. 1-0 as the players celebrated on the ice. Thousands of fans inside Amalie Arena celebrated as well, along with thousands more gathered outside the arena to enjoy the historic moment. The Lightning are the first team to win back-to-back titles since Pittsburgh in the 2015-2016 season and the 2016-2017 seasons. And that's going to do it for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Pharmacies, keeping things safe, simple, and convenient through mail, local delivery, drive-through, and curbside pickup services.
Healthy Systems USA Black Friday in July sale. 2-month program, 1-month price. It's like getting 1 month for free. Buy it for yourself or split it with a friend. Lose up to 1 pound of fat a day.
If you've got that, don't worry about that. Healthy Systems USA.
There's lots of grown-up fun in the water park capital of the world, but where? Well, where tasty drinks meet relaxing pools. That's where all the action is. Where the rubber meets the road and then meets the water. Water parks, they're here, there, and everywhere. Now, where was I? Probably somewhere like here. Ooh, nice glassware. Hungry? There's plenty more where that came from. Where do we go from here? Well, just about anywhere. Wisconsin Dells, where it's at. Plan your grown-up getaway at wisdells.com.
It took us years to find the perfect bun for Culver's Pretzel House Pub Burger.
It's got the nice pretzel flavor on the outside, but when you open it up, it's light and airy. Got a nice sweet flavor to it. It literally melts in your mouth.
This bun is perfect for a Pretzel House Pub Burger. Seared fresh beef, tangy mustard bistro sauce, pickled red onions, 2 slices of bacon, served with our signature cheddar cheese sauce.
This bun was made for this burger. This is perfect.
I think it's an awesome burger. Welcome to Delicious.
MediaCom is winning awards across the U.S., keeping you connected, keeping you safe, rising to the challenge, challenging the limits. Thanks to our award-winning employees, never settling, never backing down, always planning ahead, and always getting better. MediaCom is proud to be named 2021 U.S. Best Managed Company by Deloitte and Wall Street Journal.
Are you without health insurance because you're self-employed, employed by a small business, working part-time, lost a job, retiring? There's good news. MNsure has a special enrollment period until July 16, 2021 Free MNsure certified navigators help make sure applications are accurate and complete. Visit www.insuredduluth.org/help for more information today. Get affordable health insurance by choosing MNsure.
Healthy Systems USA Black Friday in July sale. 2-month program, 1-month price. It's like getting 1 month for free. Buy it for yourself or split it with a friend. Lose up to 1 pound of fat a day.
If you've got that, don't worry about that. Healthy Systems USA.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
I'm considering that Wheaties collection. Seriously. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.